Here's that near too many men on the ice penalty for the Toronto Maple Leafs in Game 5 of their first round series with the Boston Bruins. So first, the Rule 74, too many men on the ice. Players may be changed at any time during the play from the player's bench, provided that the player or players leaving the ice shall be within 5 feet of his player's bench and out of the play before the change is made. The player leaving the ice needs to be within 5 feet of the bench. At the discretion of the on-ice officials, should a substituting player come onto the ice before his teammate is within the 5-foot limit of the player's bench, and therefore clearly causing his team to have too many players on the ice, then a bench minor penalty may be assessed. So what is 5 feet in the context of an NHL arena? This is a diagram taken from the NHL rulebook that shows the rink to be a width of 85 feet. The distance between the center of the face-off dot just outside the blue line and the center ice mark is 22 feet. If we double that for both sides, that's 44 feet. 85 feet of total width minus 44 feet equals 41 feet divided by 2 is 20.5 feet. That would be the distance from the boards to the center of the face-off dot just outside the blue line. In essence, the distance from the bench to that face-off dot just outside the blue line is 20.5 feet. So a player needs to be within 5 feet of the player's bench and therefore needs to be 1/4 of that distance basically. So knowing that a player leaving the ice has to be within 5 feet of the player's bench before the player comes onto the ice, let's take a look at where this player is. The player leaving the ice is just outside that face-off dot at the outside of the blue line, which, as we know, to the center of that dot from the bench is 20.5 feet. That is 4 times the distance he's allowed to be before that player jumps onto the ice. Does he touch the puck? No. But he's already well on the ice before that player is anywhere near the established allowable distance from the bench. Now, this is a routine line change. There's no doubt about it. Across the NHL, this is the leeway they're given. But by the NHL rulebook as it's written, that should have been a penalty for sure. And I think that's the way they need to call it, so that these situations aren't getting nitpicked so much. It either is 5 feet away from the boards or it isn't. But how do you call this as an official when he doesn't touch the puck, when other times you don't call it? I think they shouldn't have this kind of leeway, that kind of discretion. It puts the officials in a tough spot. I think if you're not within the 5 feet range that the NHL rulebook is written as, then you need to get a penalty. And if they have to put little 5-foot markers on the ice here and there by the doors to make it easier for the officials to see, then so be it. We need to be more consistent, and we need to have the rulebook be more black and white to make it easier on everybody so that the standard is consistent across the board. And this should absolutely have been called a too many men on the ice penalty.